one more game to determine which team gets the honor, the privilege of facing Gen G in the semifinals. It's going to be tough, but it's been tough this whole series so far. HeroesHearth versus Team Liquid. HeroesHearth, they have the crowd on their side for the most part. There's some Team Liquid fans, but Tetcher, now the momentum, it's on Team Liquid's side.
Team Liquid, they busted out something HeroesHearth weren't prepared for, and even though HeroesHearth put up a good fight, they were able to bring it home. Like you said, momentum is now on their side. They have a good chance of being able to select the next map, so they could maybe set themselves up for even more shenanigans, as HeroesHearth, like most teams these days, do seem to prefer first pick.
I'm curious if they do that, because we saw the direction, as Dredd mentioned, in the first draft, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, do we want to have another Lost Vikings map and take away one of our bans, even though that might not be one of our strategies? So it might be something for HeroesHearth to be like, look, we're going to go to one of our strengths. We're going to take away some potential options. So that is a curious decision. I agree.
And not only do you remove options when it comes to battleground and viability of specific heroes, but you just remove the last pick slot. It just straight up takes it away as an opportunity. So knowing that, yes, you may give up the power picks of the synergy between like the Garrosh and the Decker priorities that we get out of Liquid, you put yourself in a position where you can't get TLV'd. And I would argue a lot of that game came down to just the surprise pick that NA didn't expect.
I'd love to hear from any of you. Who do you feel has a better shot at being able to bring games off of Gen G, maybe even take out Gen G? Because Team Liquid, yeah, they've done it once before. They got a win in that game, but it was, they lost the early game. They had to bring it back by some good combos. But HeroesHearth Esports also has that variety that Rich talked about.
I think both of them have enough uniqueness about the way that they play and the drafts that they can come up with.
Sure.
Plus, I think they're very skilled individual players on both sides. I'm not saying that they would come in and maybe win the series. That would be difficult, but I think both teams are very capable.
Well, what we have seen so far in the Battlegrounds is a little bit of HeroesHearth flair being able to out-macro on Towers of Doom. Then the Vikings emerged on HeroesHearth pick of Dragonshire, and now we're going to an even battleground. Yes, HeroesHearth picked it, and yes, HeroesHearth has chosen Tomb versus a European team. But like at the Western Clash, Freedom have shown that North America is starting to play well on Tomb, and this is a place that HeroesHearth feels comfortable.
HeroesHearth has been very, very comfortable to select this battleground since North America has picked up Dragonshire. It seems like the other small battlegrounds were something that we were comfortable, you know, bringing into the arsenal here, but something that we have seen. I've been talking about the patterns of Team Liquid. Now it's time to highlight a very consistent one, that of HeroesHearth, and that is the Johanna priority. They have been putting that above all else and will deal well with the opportunities of the Garrosh, likely from Sport Billy, but I feel like this is an exploitable opportunity if you are Team Liquid, assuming that it's going to be that warrior, and then find ways to gain control at other parts, because it's so safe of a warrior pick.
But both of the teams have highly prioritized Johanna, and now so much so that Team Liquid is willing to ban her away and taking away Abathur, despite it being Inira.
I'm over here doing
the Kerrigan.
Pointy Kerrigan thingy. You don't want to do that into a Garrosh, though.
Yeah, Sport Billy getting his Garrosh once again, but it's showing here with that Johanna ban that once again Team Liquid have done their homework. The fact is, HeroesHearth since mid-season Brawl have played Tomb the Spider Queen more than any other map. 13 games on this map, and they have been very effective on it with a 77% win rate, and so many of those did come down to that Johanna.
The one thing that I love about this early Blaze pickup is that what you can see from European teams is put the oil down if you're Blaze, allowing Garrosh to make up the distance and get the slow enabled for him, but it also counters Garrosh in the same respect. So I really like this early Blaze pickup by HeroesHearth.
And it's a heavy denial to some of the priorities that we have gotten from the members of Team Liquid. They've been picking up that Blaze very, very frequently when they have the opportunity to do so. And so I like it as well, also because it removes some of the counterplay around the Tyrande itself, having the opportunity to create the bunker to the Lunar Flare kill target. But the Phoenix and the Jaina pick up good synergy here, but it's a higher Phoenix value than we've seen for the most part here from Team Liquid. And I can't help but wonder if that is something that HeroesHearth can find a way to take advantage of here in the laning phase.
Well, there's no Decker Kane yet. Putting that over Decker Kane with the Tyrande pick, that is possibly something that HeroesHearth could want to ban away.
And there it is.
The one thing that I like about the Phoenix and the Jaina early is that now all of a sudden it's like, all right, where does your damage come from? That's something that we've seen a lot, but also coming into this draft, it feels like Malthael could have been another option because you have that viability with Hami to play another melee around that. It's like, okay, we took away the Johanna and we've taken away a significant amount of wave clear, so you have to make up for wave clear elsewhere, and the Malthael Blade is not as appealing in that regard.
Diablo being taken out here. Now, Diablo during the opening week was punished repeatedly by Garrosh's, but in this case, it's less about the tank-into-tank matchup, but more about the backliners. There's a lot of walls on this map, and Phoenix, if you can interrupt his warp, you are going to be able to punish him. But it does still leave a Nubarak open, another very aggressive setup for Tyrande.
And one of the things I was wondering is within the 2-3 with the Phoenix Jaina, if that would be something that might punish on the world of Phoenix, but I want to highlight that Jaina selection. I feel like that was a very clever pickup from them, not having the opportunity to move into the Jaina for the kill potential, and more importantly, the wave clear opportunities there for HeroesHearth Esports. Yes, Hanzo can make up for that a little bit, but not near the kill potential and burst opportunities post a Nubarak impale there. So very well done from Liquid.
No Sergeant Hammer. That's always something you have to consider against a Garrosh. That's kind of been the #1. Tomb of the Spider Queen, maybe not the most appealing. Hanzo very likely will be played by Krohn, so it's not necessarily the Hami pick that you would expect. Ooh.
As Zeratul to finish it up. Yet another follow-up burst for this composition. It is going into an Arthas. If Arthas is able to get onto Zeratul at his wormhole point, they might be able to punish him very well. This draft of Team Liquid has a lot of slows, and the fact is, Arthas, Icebound Fortitude, Garrosh, with his Indomitable, this front line is pretty resilient to the amount of CC that HeroesHearth are running.
Yeah, it's something that HeroesHearth can do with Hami is put him on Blaze and then allow McIntyre to play that Zeratul.
And that's what I'm expecting to be able to see here. McIntyre has had, I would argue, actually one of the better Zeratul performances at this tournament. And though, yes, the front line of Team Liquid can survive a Zeratul, the one who can't is a Malfurion. He is just dead. Yep. There is no ice block. He is just 100% dead. Post 16, there is no world you don't just one-shot him. It's Q, wait, Vorpal, Q, there's a void. Okay, he's a dead Malfurion. And so I have a lot of concern now. If it does make it to a dead, even later stage of the game, I go, HeroesHearth, you have the team fight capabilities. Malf can't heal through this. Don't worry about the front line. Just dive onto the back.
Let me take it one step further. This is probably our most hype match of the day. We're in Game 3. Let's do some predictions. Tetcher, who you got?
The Malfurion is so at risk that it concerns me, but I've got to have faith in Sport Billy's Garrosh into the fray might be the one saving grace that they might have here. I'm going to Team Liquid.
I couldn't agree with Dread more. I mean, the idea that Jaina also has to finish her baseline quest just to have an ice block for herself, it's going to be difficult against this composition. I'm on the side for HeroesHearth this draft.
And the one thing that I haven't brought up yet is in every iteration Liquid has done this. There's been a Yrel armor stack with the Malfurion and the Garrosh to keep him alive. It's not the case here. I'm going with that's going to be a dead Malf post 16, and this is HeroesHearth's game.
I'm hosting, so I get to be biased. And I've got NA all the way. HeroesHearth's gonna take it, but I can't wait for this game. Let's get it going.
Dreadnought's going to come down to all 3 games here, something that after game #1, you wonder how would this play out. The Lost Vikings turn the tide, but you take away all the craziness, and now we've got Tomb, which we know there's going to be a lot of action on.
A lot of action. I feel such a bold statement, not so much when looking at just HeroesHearth, but knowing that at any level at the HGC Finals, North America is willing to put it all on the line against Europe on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's very fitting, but let's get into it here.
Here we go. It's going to be Krohn on his familiar Hanzo. We know what he can do. BBJ will be on the Tyrande. McIntyre, he says, look, I've been styling on people all week long. Give me a Zeratul again. Ishbu will be on a Nubarak. Hami will be on Blaze. Give it up for HeroesHearth.
And in the red, we're going to have Garrosh, played by Sport Billy. Eternal going to be on that Arthas in the off lane. Arcaner on the Phoenix. Nurak is going to be playing that Malfurion, and here we see Jaina, played by Hasuwabs. Let's hear it for Team Liquid!
The adaptation of our Phoenix players against dive-style heroes to go with that. Look, I auto-attack, my auto-attacks every time I move, they become that much stronger. We saw it previously on the other side. It's when you have those dive counters, those Zeratuls, things like that, they can't stay as long. You can pepper down the Anubarak. You don't have to go into the Arsenal synergy. So Team Liquid with the early adaptation for that bodes well to everything we just discussed for these team fights and the dive style we're going to get from HeroesHearth.
And Liquid here is already dominating when it comes to the control over the battleground itself. When looking at that laning situation, the fact that it's a 1-3-1 from HeroesHearth shows that they are understanding of the difficult circumstances that they are under. They need to find a way to set up an impale kill potential combo, but until we hit that 4th threshold with the explosive arrows, it is kind of out of the realm of possibility. So expect Liquid to be the bullies for the first couple of levels and still likely a little bit beyond that threshold.
The Johanna band just plays into everything Team Liquid is trying to accomplish to all those points you just made. So we'll see how that does play out here. So it seems like that bottom lane control, when you have the Jaina, you can just double rotate. That bottom lane will require some attention over time. You can even see the play towards those Siege Giants potentially in the very near future.
Yeah, I think it was a really cheeky play within the 2-3 of the draft from Team Liquid with that high Phoenix adjustment and things of the like. The question is just, did that wave clear decision-making within the draft pay off for the lack of URL and the vulnerabilities of knowing they don't have that Decker Cane like they have and find themselves on the Malfurion? And that really is what is going to come to light here on 2.
Dread, I can't help but go back to the words you said about it's about level 4 for Hanzo. So this is a great adaptation by Team Liquid. They're like, they have bad wave clear until level 4, you even get bonus on Zeratul. So let's force our advantage early. They're picking up a night camp before the Siege Giant because they have the significant wave clear, they have the pushing advantage, and before HeroesHearth has the wave clear, they're going to get caught here. He's in trouble. There's the Groundbreaker. The agility will buy time, and you can see Eternal just living on that front line as Ishbu and team try to survive, but Hami will be first blood.
Great job there from Team Liquid, not only capitalizing when it came to the macro due to the compositional flaw, if you will, of HeroesHearth, but then finding a way to gain the upper hand even further with some greedy kind of transitions out from them. This allows for 29 gems to be put on reserve for Team Liquid for now, but the biggest thing is the fact that the experience is pretty heavily against them. It should be noted that mid lane is kind of big. That's going to help HeroesHearth catch up a smidge, but we're talking about a quarter level, a third of a level advantage already here for Liquid.
I think it's also important to note, Dread, you and I, we've watched a lot of Tomb games. We always see if you get that early mid lane pressure, you get some damage, you take the gate down, but then you get some pressure onto those towers, maybe even take one down with that early camp.
Yeah.
Then that experience is banked in the fort when you get those web weavers, and that's how we see teams potentially snowball on that. So it is a very real threat against HeroesHearth.
And I think it even gets worse when talking about the Jaina rotations you highlighted for Hasu on that bottom lane. What that has done is made it like, if this first web weaver phase goes Liquid, they get the siege, get the fort, that bottom rotation is going to happen quick and likely a kill behind it with all the slows available for Eternal and friends, because the distance of safety on bottom fort on Tomb of the Spider Queen is colossal comparative to most small battlegrounds. A turn-in attempt here kind of being thwarted from both sides, as 20 gems exist here for HeroesHearth and still 29 for Liquid.
Yeah, Team Liquid actually did something against Gen G that was really special. They were on the right side as well, and with that rotation you mentioned, they just went through that small choke, dove that bottom fort, and every solo laner that I've ever seen get caught in that position never makes it out. And that's something that HeroesHearth will have to prepare for if that fort does fall early, but there's going to be another route to track down. Ami will live using that Pyromania though.
Very early use of the Pyromania. So we see Hanzo trying to get that threat onto Sport. Billy Crowan doing his best, but with so much threat done towards that bottom lane with the Blaze, I think it's unlikely Liquid, or excuse me, HeroesHearth can make too big of a power play at this point in time. Once the 7 threshold hits, Liquid would like to find a way to get those turn-in, but Jayhow, HeroesHearth is actually the one eking in these kind of baby turn-ins far quicker than Liquid.
Yeah, they'd love
Eternal.
to get those in. Eternal, he's going to be dove upon. See if he can survive. Eternal living, using everything he can to stay alive, and they're going to turn it. That's going to be a kill onto Ishbu. Every time you go in, Dreadnought, if you do not get a kill as a Nubrek, it is very difficult to make your way out. 10 will be needed, but now Hami's being tossed in.
Yeah, got the flip over. Body block into the jet propulsion, roots down, and that is a double now for Team Liquid. Making a triple as they find themselves a nice Groundbreaker. Natural agility allows Crowan to get the heal, get the tap, and survive. But my goodness, talk about dominance assertive here from Europe.
Well, now this is a tough spot for HeroesHearth to be in. This is a very good call to get this camp to defend mid, but if this falls quickly, which Jaina can burst through that spell armor very rapidly, but this bottom lane, I think this is why we see Ishbu down here. Blaze will make his way down, but if Team Liquid can get that push through that mid lane, they might make a quick rotation towards the bottom and try and get a gank and really try and spiral this game out of control. You can see HeroesHearth putting everything that they have into the defense here in the mid lane.
Not any too much heavy aggression as Jaina is now going to make the rotation down. McIntyre dealing with the top wave. This is where Jaina would look for a pick if they can find it. Ishbu able to get a burrow charge away. Lunar Flare pushing Liquid back a little bit longer. Let's see their transition. Is it top or is it bottom? I'd like to see bottom with so much threat, but actually if you look at it, because Eternal is already dominating there, it really would just be a bit of a wasted rotation. Normally you'd say this is the play you make that transition out, but at this point in time, Eternal's like, I'm Arthas, I've got bottom lane by myself. Boys, figure something else out here, as 10's just around the corner now.
That fort netted about 40% of the XP needed to go from 9 to 10, and now we're looking at 10 to 9 here momentarily. It's just still 8 3/4 for HeroesHearth, so they'll have to bide their time for now. And we look at the gem count, Dreadnought, Team Liquid 1 gem shy of having enough for a turn-in. You can believe that's right there in that wave. So it is something, though, we've seen teams, when you use everything you have, and McIntyre, he's not making it out of there.
Great job with the use of the welly there. That's part of the reason that was able to get that kill. Is Zeratul, if you end up getting the slow with 1 Ice Lance, he's going to use the teleport, but then if you drop that Water Elemental, get the auto attack slow, he's not going to wormhole back, and that is Hasu taking advantage not only of the heroics, but the mispositioning there of McIntyre, and now allowing the rest of the squad to drop some of those gems off. And as you were talking about before, having a back-to-back Web Weaver phase with that heroic advantage, I mean, this is devastation when looking at, you know, ideal circumstances of Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, it's up to level 10 for HeroesHearth to get back into this game. They want it, they need it to get back in. But when you see a fort fall, potentially 2 with that threat of heroics, you're going to be looking at 11.5, 12 by the end of that. And then Team Liquid can maybe deny until they get to 13 and then play that 13 to 10, 13 to 11 game. So that's always the threat, the snowball potential of this map and the denial. But with HeroesHearth, they have the potential to take a team fight to really get aggressive post-level 10, even with a deficit. So it's such an interesting moment to see the way teams handle this, because compositionally it's different every single time.
And it does feel like it is at a moment in a kind of a, you know, situation to where if HeroesHearth cannot figure out how to deal with this, don't find themselves a 10s picked up, maybe a void pick, a void prison isolation pick, they're going to be in a situation where the macro is so heavy, not only compositionally, but more importantly, structurally against them, that I don't know if they have the opportunity to return. And I think a lot of this, Jay Howe, is all due to a really smart choice that was made early on, and you pointed it out, is if Hanzo doesn't have wave clear until 4, do whatever you want pre-4. That night camp set up so much on the poor rotations out from HeroesHearth that it's just snowballed back to back since that one moment, that one decision on their end.
It's really hard when we get to that moment to say, here's what it will look like, because what it ended up looking like was HeroesHearth desperately needing to get that night camp and put everything into the defense mid, and that's how you saw that bottom fort fall. It's no accident that Team Liquid is in the position that they are in, and I think that's something that if you could paint a picture and then maybe try and say, all right, this is what it could look like, this is what it would look like. So Team Liquid very clearly taking control of this game.
I think one of the only maybe outcomes that we've endured over this game that may be different, that Liquid wasn't like, oh, we can bank on this, is after they got the kill through mid, you know, Homicidal maybe overextending himself a little bit too long, trying to panic with the rest of the squad there, and that was leading to another flip out from Sport Billy and that double kill. But other than that, as you said, this is no accident that Liquid is in full control here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Still 4-0 when coming into the kills. And it's just heroics not even found. It's just so crazy how much we've already seen here. Team Liquid dominate.
We've got a technical issue that's being attended to now.
Bit of a screen flicker there for a moment.
Now we'll get that underway for HeroesHearth Dreadnought. It's 10, it's heroics, it's just 1 kill to get back into the game. Getting control over this is what they'll be looking to do. When we come back, we'll have those Web Weavers that will be pushing against them. They are nearing 10. It's just a matter of, do you get there quick enough before 1 fort falls? Because if you don't get it quick enough, that second fort will fall rapidly, even with 10s in response.
And as we talked about before this series started, both McIntyre and Hasuwab's working for some time to find themselves at the stage. And this game is going to send one of them home, Jay Howe.
Web Weavers have ascended onto the battleground. 10, a wave or 2 away for HeroesHearth, but you can see the positioning very cautious with Sport Billy trading out stuns there as Ishbu and Sport Billy on the Anubrak and Kirash respectively. But here's where 1 fort already being threatened. Sonic Arrow will come down for even more clear, just trying to survive. And that bottom lane is even pressing too.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the Zeratul, though. That is where the play is going to happen, if anywhere. You already see all those pings out from Liquid. They know Dragon's Arrow is a bit of a whip there as it goes through the uprights. Howling Blast ends up landing. Lunar Flare out. It's the follow-up roof out from Nurok. Homicidal is going to be the focus. He has to drop the bunker. Now Eternal there with another 2-man Howling Blast stops the retreat. Garrosh is able to get out of that cocoon. And Liquid, a lot of fireworks here, but no kills to be found.
The bottom has to be responded to, and Team Liquid instantly rotates up, and this is that double fort play they're looking to make if they get this down. That will be that 13 to 11 window, and right now they've caught out Hami. No bunker this time. Salvo will come out, Hami will fall. That's going to be kill number 1, and Sport Billy on that Garrosh will walk away with 40 plus armor. Another root landed by Eternal. No follow-up there, but the damage done here for Team Liquid as they continue their assault with 5 kills to 0.
And it's very important to highlight that though that was maybe a moment where when you looked at the health bars where you're like, can HeroesHearth get a recovery here? Is this a 1-for-1 trade? That macro setup of the bottom lane pressure, the only reason HeroesHearth wasn't willing to commit any more resources is because Mac was too busy trying to get the clear on bottom. Understandably so, but let's just say that there's a Zeratul there and that pressure isn't there. Void Prison, turn it around, and I think HeroesHearth had a chance, but not able to make it happen there. J-How, it feels like this game is about one skirmish away, one turn-in away from getting out of control and HeroesHearth being sent home.
That slow bought enough time for Ishbu to get the turn in. That's the first web weaver. If you're a HeroesHearth fan, you are very happy about that. But that 13 is now picked up by Team Liquid. Dread, this will buy back some experience. It will buy back time to get back into the game and get some experience to try to come back. But it's not just one turn in. They're going to need a second. They're going to need a team fight to start to make things happen. As Sport Billy just walks forward and is daring anybody on HeroesHearth to answer that call.
And because HeroesHearth has, struggled so heavily in wave clear and any kind of macro pressure at all, these web weavers are very not only easy to clear at certain moments with bottom spawning a mile back, mid being an easy cleanup for Liquid. It makes top very predictable when it comes to capabilities and the transitions out from HeroesHearth. So yes, the web weaver buying a bit of time and a bit of experience, but I would have liked to see them find a way to get that top lane pressure a bit more. Otherwise, Liquid is going to drop another web weaver phase, and I'm not sure HeroesHearth can rely on a 13 talent here.
Well, that bottom web weaver will be responded to by Eternal. See if HeroesHearth can maybe make a rotation here into the top, and Team Liquid will have none of it. They're positioning safe, deliberate, and in control here. It's HeroesHearth looking for an opening, an opportunity to take a team fight to get back into this.
Good intel.
Might have it.
Lunar Flare, there's the Indomitable, but a welly use. That's actually pulling the trigger a smidge early there from Hasuops. Not the biggest cooldown in the world, but it is something. At this level, J-How, we've learned, even if you don't have wave clear pre-forward, that's a problem at the international stage at this caliber. So we'll see if HeroesHearth can find a way to get the upper hand. Still no 13. Impale comes through. There we see the Void Prison, the isolation, and Sport Billy's down.
There's number 1. They're on to Hasuops, so he can get the dive in. Kron trying to make the play, but he's going to eat the response in the damage. The bunker will buy an escape option as McIntyre barely getting out of there. That's 1 kill though, Dreadnought. As good as it feels for HeroesHearth, that is just 1. They have enough for another turn-in. They need so much more.
They do need so much more, but we also have to bring up what we talked about in the draft. As this game moves on, that Zeratul-Malfurion matchup gets better and better for the Zeratul. Hold on, Root there thrown out. Ishbu maybe in a bad spot. McIntyre with a threat onto the backline. Dragon's Arrow again is going to be missing there. McIntyre trying to cut away, but he is slowed down. No teleport for a second. The Lunar Flare stays to life. There comes out the Salvo.
Salvo with the slow is going to be enough to get some damage in, and that's going to be 1 kill on the Crowan. And so far, that is 2 misses on the Dragon Arrow. If either of those lands, the fights could look entirely different, but Team Liquid making counterplay after counterplay will turn that fight.
It will turn the fight and continue mounting this pressure against HeroesHearth Esports. Not only in the structures and the kills early on, but now a 3rd web weaver phase. This will be able to pick up 16 talent tier for Team Liquid. HeroesHearth has to find a way within the window of getting the Void Prison to force a fight and win a fight. Otherwise, you're looking at keeps.
We'll see if Team Liquid can get there because they're also close to 16, which is a very big threat. Hasu has multiple options, whether he gets the root of his own or whether he goes into that armor reduction to try and blow somebody up. That is such a high impact talent tier for this Jaina as the Starfall will come down to try and get some wave clear. The Blizzard comes down. Team Liquid will move forward, and as one of these fall, 16 will be picked up momentarily. And now Team Liquid in the driver's seat, but HeroesHearth, they're holding for now.
Yeah, pretty good clear there over that as we see Homicidal make the transition down to be able to deal with that bottom lane. Keep your eyes on McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen. He has a lot of the threat when it comes to this anti-siege moment with the wormhole, like moving up, getting threat onto Hasu and friends. Howling Blast there used onto Crowan as McIntyre all's in just to get rid of that web weaver. Cocoon dropped, and now the focus here from Liquid goes towards the keep.
Keep starting to fall. Team Liquid just moving forward. If they get 1 kill, they'll look to get another. Try and control this. There's going to be the toss and the taunt.
Dragon.
The Dragon Arrow in response. The Nature's Cure will buy the soft cleanse there. We'll have a reset. More roots coming in from Eternal as the keep just being sieged upon this entire time will fall. That is a major advantage for Team Liquid.
A major advantage for Liquid, but the 16 window is realistic now. Actually, take a minute. No, it's not. Sport Billy with a groundbreaker. Bunker out too late. Homicidal now is going to be the next to lie victim at the hand, forcing out the Void Prison now from McIntyre. Things falling, crumbling here for HeroesHearth.
It's boss time, Dreadnought, with 2 members dead. No VP now. They were going to turn their attention towards that boss with that keep exposed. Mind you, this is an early boss. It does not guarantee, but the odds are high that Team Liquid might try and end the game with this boss push and move on into the round of 4.
And a lot of that is very realistic due to that lack of Void Prison from McIntyre. Normally a 14-minute boss on Tomb, you say 5 seconds of downtime, we can't handle this, we can't siege this. But now it is very realistic here to threaten it out. But as we talk about Web Weavers is a denial from HeroesHearth Esports, but this is just a kind of almost waste, if you will, of gems. 55 are going to go in, but it's just to make sure that Liquid doesn't dominate with this boss control on top.
It feels bad because you have to make that call to defend, but Jaina just bursting through this. The boss push, Team Liquid moving forward, Dragon Arrow available if they look to take a fight. HeroesHearth in defense, the boss
Welly down.
Forward. Water Elementals out, the toss, the taunt, the root. They get the blow up onto Anubrak. They're going to look for more. Team Liquid onto the core, trying to take this series right now.
They're looking to be able to take out the shields now onto the core. Jet propulsion there. We see the flip over. Arcaner's shields falling low with the full back. Bunker goes down 65%, and it looks like the damage is going to be there. J-How, it looks like Team Liquid will send home North America's #1 seed, HeroesHearth Esports, in a 2-1 victory.
Team Liquid just coming out, firing after game number 2, showing why they are one of the best that we have. And just so much control in those last 2 games. Amazing play by this team.
Really, this roster, as you talked about early before things kicked off, how it feels like they have come into their own at the most optimal, most prime time that they possibly could. And I think, again, to bring it back to that night camp rotation and decision making on their end, moments like that and the ways to further that advantage as the game moves on, it's very much, you know, kind of a great display of that level of synergy that they have come to.
It's bittersweet if you're a HeroesHearth fan, but you've got to be proud of where they've come from. I mean, we've heard the story. They were in the audience last year watching, wondering if they could be here, find their way into the HGC, make their way as the #1 seed out of North America coming here, and they just had a very tough test in Team Liquid, but a team that you can be proud of if you are an NA fan.
And on the other side, knowing that Hasuabs has found his way towards BlizzCon to be able to stand here, and now knows that he has the opportunity to transfer on to tomorrow, day number 2 of BlizzCon. A statement that even fewer can say other than being able to compete at this level. So very well done from Team Liquid. And I opened up and I said I had a little bit of doubt. I didn't know if they would have what it takes to take out HeroesHearth Esports, considering, you know, that kind of bumps and bruises they've had along the path. But they very much come in cool, calm, and collected.
Well, Dred, you mentioned Hasuabs. We actually have an interview with him. Kevin, take it away.
Thank you so much, J-How. That's right, I'm here with Hasuabs from Team Liquid. Congratulations on the run back. That is massive, man. You were up against the wall. You brought it back. How are you feeling right now?
Awesome. Just feels very, very good.
Very good, man. Get me in the mindset of your team after that Game 1 loss. I know in a single elimination sort of bracket like this, that's do or die scenario. You came out with the Lost Vikings pick. I want to know how you decided that. Did you know going into the draft that was what you were going to do? Were you waiting to see how it played out? Was it something you prepared? Why the Lost Vikings there?
So first of all, credits to HeroesHearth for the first map. I think they played extremely well on it. They drafted well and they played their style like extremely good. It was really hard to find like any kind of picks or situations where we could get an advantage. Then the second map, yeah, we practiced Vikings. It's something that we used to do. This time Eternal was on it because we picked Jaina as well, and I'm usually playing the Jaina. And yeah, Eternal also has a StarCraft background, so he was actually doing tremendous work. Like I think he proxied bottom wave all the time, which gave us like a winning condition because they couldn't go through our bottom keep anymore. And yeah, just played out as we wanted it.
You played it perfectly. It was so cool to see the Vikings get a win as well, and you guys stay in the match. Now, of course, you move on to the round of 4. Dominant opponent there with Gen G. You took a game off of them in the open bracket. What's your mindset going into that? And maybe what also do you think led to that win last week as well?
I mean, we just played good, you know. Like, I think Gen G played very well, but so did we, and we managed to close it out. Yeah, we made it to the final day of BlizzCon, so tomorrow we just give our very best. Rich earlier said he wants to 3-hour us. I actually think he's a bit scared of us after losing a map against us, because we ruined their 10-0 group stage. So who knows? But yeah, we will do some good draft prep tonight, and yeah, then just play all out tomorrow, because there's nothing to lose.
Love to hear that, man. Congratulations. Now, we talked about how this is your first BlizzCon experience. Is it living up to what you expected? Is it more than that? What are your thoughts?
I mean, when I heard the chants for HeroesHearth, it was a bit scary, I have to say. It was much, much louder than I thought. But yeah, it's hype. It's just awesome to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. You move on to the round of 4. Team Liquid, guys, give it up for them. We're back to the desk.
The core of Team Liquid used to be a team known for barely qualifying and then doing amazingly on LAN. But then they also became known as the team that started to peter out toward the end of the year. In 2016, they were the most dominant European team, and then as it got closer and closer to BlizzCon, it got worse and worse and didn't qualify. Or 2017, then 2017 didn't even make it. And now here being able to make it was the first big test. Though we saw them at Western Clash, they fell to 2 North American teams on the first day, and one of those was the team they just got revenge against, Tetcher.
And that's got to feel so good, getting revenge against HeroesHearth here and being able to move on to the next round. And the fact is, Team Liquid played that so well. You guys were so right at the start of saying that if the HeroesHearth had got to 16, Malfurion would have been in serious trouble. But Team Liquid were able to get such an early advantage and position so well without giving away free kills. They're able to bring it home.
And the Johanna ban was so integral because of how much HeroesHearth suffered not having that wave clear to supplement with the kind of kill comp that they wanted.
Yeah, it very much was a huge setback, and a lot of the reason I think that, you saw that ability to be able to snowball the game. And, not taking anything away from Liquid, I think there were moments that you could see the nerves coming in, especially with players like Homicidal, but they never hesitated whatsoever to punish, be like, oh, he's out of position. Sport Billy's like, I got you, boys, and just here's a nice kill there. So it was very well done from Team Liquid, and, it's exciting to see what they have here now, knowing they're going to be going up against Gen G.
Oh yeah, Hasuops talked about it. Maybe a little bit of fear from Gen G hearing from Rich. Maybe Rich saying that HeroesHearth could defeat Team Liquid J-How was just a clever way of getting into the heads of Team Liquid because they are the only team that got a win off of them in the group stage.
Yeah, it wasn't by accident. I went back and I watched that game after that week, and I'm like, Team Liquid just did play that good. I'm glad he said that because I'm like, I don't think they did anything special. I don't think that was Gen G playing bad. There was one moment where Rich got caught out, and that might have been the worst play Gen G made all game. But Team Liquid just played that well on that map to take that game. So I would not be surprised if they take games in that series. The series itself, though, a very tall task against a team like Gen G.
Well, with HeroesHearth Esports dropping out of the tournament, there is one sole remaining North American hope. And they're going to need your energy because they're going up against one of the tournament favorites, Team Dignitas, after the break.